Yes, what's going on, friends, and welcome back to Football Therapy. There's a London derby, there's some managerial updates, and there's some tactical questions.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
What's happening? And welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. We are back! The international break has fizzled away, mercifully, and we are returning to good football. Even though England did win 5-0, and I'd been slagging off Tuchel's England for a while, so congratulations to them, very happy with that. I will be talking on the second channel again, hopefully today, firing that up and doing more content. So, in today's video, we're going to react to what Maresca's done? What he said, excuse me, I've got like the hiccups. What he said, given updates in his pre-match press conference. We'll look at our opponents, Brentford, who have been decimated, really. If you think about it, they've lost key figures historically, like Tony, Bernardo Cueva, the set-piece superstar that's now at Chelsea, maybe finally earning his salary. And of course, only so recently, Johan, Visser, Norgard, and Burmo, and probably most pertinently, the manager, the gaffer, Thomas Frank. Great hair. He kind of looks like a sort of good-looking human Dobby. That is the biggest neg ever, isn't it? So we're going to get into it. Strap yourselves in, friends. Thanks, as always, for joining me. Very grateful to have you here. Thank you for supporting the content, liking, subscribing, hype, pointing, and all that lovely stuff. We are on the road to 200,000 subscribers, so I would be very happy if you joined the fun. Yeah, thank you for that. Have you done it? A lot of people are here watching, and they just don't subscribe. Are you one of those people? Maybe now's the time to subscribe. Alright, so let's go through some updates that Maresca said in his press conference. This is courtesy of Absolute Chelsea, citing Bobby Vincent, actually, of Football London. He said about Cole Palmer, he took part in the session yesterday for the first time, so he's only just trained since being, absent on the international break. I have a feeling he's not going to feature in the game against Brentford. I personally feel like we're going to keep him ready for the Bayern Munich game. But actually, can I ask you this, guys? Is there an argument that this Brentford game is more important than the Bayern Munich game in the Champions League? You're probably thinking, what, Yannick? You're mental. But maybe there's a case for it, because that's the hardest game away in the league phase. The 3 points are the 3 points in the league phase, and you want to make sure you get these really important points in the Premier League. You do. Maybe there's an argument for it. And of course, football's very different in Europe. I just wonder. I mean, I'm not saying it is, but there's just a case that I reckon there'll be some people that say Brentford's more important because of it's the hardest game in the league phase and it's worth the same 3 points as all the other games would be. Just get this game done against Brentford in London. I don't know. He said he took part in the training session yesterday for the first time, not the entire session. We're going to have one more session this afternoon. We're going to try and see if he's okay. Otherwise, he will be out for tomorrow. Now, out for tomorrow to me sounds like out of the squad. So for me, that sounds like he maybe come off the bench or he might not be available. I have a feeling he's certainly not going to start. He is recovering from an injury. It's not managing him. It's recovering from the injury. When he is available, we need to manage him because of how many games. Now, Chelsea have been a lot better with managing players. Reece James's, Fofana's to a degree, and hopefully Lavia's very, very soon. He goes on to talk about Liam Delap. It's around 10 to 12 weeks, man. So it could be 4 months out still. 3 months out. Maths, very sorry, and I'm so pleased I corrected myself there, but that's what's going on with Liam Delap. I'm not sure he spoke about Romeo Lavia, but I think him and Wes could be available. I'd love to see a Wes Fofana start against Brentford, and we will build a lineup in a moment, in a couple of minutes, so keep yourselves locked in for that. So he spoke about Alejandro Garnacho, which is really interesting. Lots of people are thinking, ooh, Garnacho. You know, villain arc after Manchester United, 40 million, probably quite good value for the ceiling of the player, despite a player that not a lot of the Chelsea fan base wanted. Maresca said this, for us, he's working well. For sure, he needs to work because he arrived not in 100% fit. Didn't have a pre-season with Man United, unwanted by Amorim, of course, so it doesn't surprise me at all that he is not fit. He needs to work, he's working well, and we will see. Hopefully, we can give him minutes. To me, that says not start, possibly off the bench. Hopefully against a tired Brentford defence where Alejandro Garnacho can run in to space, score a goal, and that'll be fun. That would be fun. So we spoke about Nico Jackson as well. I don't think he's really spoken since the super transfer saga. So Maresca was posed about this, posed a question. He said, Nico, for me, it's quite easy in terms of he is a Bayern Munich player. Well, he's a Chelsea player on loan at Bayern Munich, isn't he, Enzo? I sent him a message and I wished him all the best. He's working well when he was here, so I wish him all the best. And I do think, I wish nothing but the best for you. To go and get us that big transfer fee. Look, Maresca spent the vast majority of last season waxing lyrical about Nico. We're a better team with Jackson. When he wasn't playing and we weren't scoring, he was like going, yeah, you see? It's Nico. I do think that was soured by the red cards. I do think it legitimately peed him off. Like, stop getting sent off, you absolute sausage. But I think he loves it. I think he really likes him as a player and values him and yada yada yada. And I think probably like he would have. I know there was a piece on Mark Yu on The Athletic that Maresca does like you, Chelsea like you. He will get minutes in some capacity since the recall. But I can imagine if Maresca said Nico's happy to come back, he would have been like, great, let's use him instead of Delap while Delap's out. It would be great, a really useful tool for me. The fact how Nico, he wasn't pulling an Isak or Johan Visser, like, I'm not coming no matter what. I think he was really assertively wanting to get the deal over the line still. To Bayern, that is. And I think Maresca recognised that. I think Maresca recognised how that could possibly represent a toxic force in the dressing room and was like, yeah, let's just see if we can get that done. But I think he sees him as a good player. So he speaks about Brentford. He says it's always a tough game. Last year in both games, the Premier League is the best league in the world. Yeah. He spoke about Enzo Fernandez, which has been a hot top. A player who I think's been playing poorly at the start of this season and rescuing his games with goals and assists, but I think he's been broadly a very good player for Chelsea, Fernandez. He's just not got going in open play yet, generally, I don't think personally. He got a penalty goal, he got a corner set piece assist last game. Those don't represent good open play moments, do they? But he is a good player. I think he knows he's not been playing well, Fernandez. He says he struggled a little bit at the beginning of last season, what we wanted for him, but at the moment he was a much better player. And of course, to me, Jan, this seemingly is happening this season as well, struggling a little bit. He's talked about his squad. He loves his squad. He's in love with his squad. Yada, yada, yada. He did comment on Mark Gu. The only number 9 is Gu, and Joao can also play there. Despite saying, I see Joao as a 9, I think he's sort of saying conventional, traditional number 9. The only one we've got is Mark Gu, a teenager who's not really done much in his career. Against Fulham, we use Tariq as a 9, so we can also think about him. No! I've had it up to here. I like Tariq George. He's a good lad. He seems to be an excellent talent. I think he's a very good finisher, but he's not a centre forward. I heard CFC Central Sam of London's Blue Pod. He didn't get any passes as a striker against Fulham when he played up there. Play Pedro Neto as a striker, as a false diminutive pressing false 9. Don't play Tariq George as a striker. Just because he's tall. It's not like he's winning headers out here and holding the ball up. He's not that guy. He's a great player, but that's misprofiling him. Now, of course, the Brazilian trio of André Santos, Estevão and João Pedro played in Bolivia horrendous conditions. They arrived yesterday. They didn't train. So they did some recovery. Moy arrived last night. For all of them, it's a question mark for tomorrow when they play in Bolivia. It's very, very difficult. Mega altitude, of course. He spoke about Buonanotte briefly. He's a good player. He can help us. We've got loads of competitions and games. He also referenced, of course, he was on loan at Leicester last season. Maresca's got loads of contacts at Leicester. He probably spoke to them like, is he good? Shall I loan him? All right. He seemed happy enough for Buonanotte. Right, so we are going to talk about the games. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about our opposition, Brentford. They've won 2. They've lost 2 in their opening games of the season. They lost to Forest Renew. They beat Aston Villa, who are in a horrendous state of form. Who scored that goal? Ouattara, the new boy. He's a good player. Beat Bournemouth 2-0 in the cup. Who scored those goals, eh? New boy Igor Thiago and Fabio Carvalho. They do have good players despite everyone leaving. And they've got Sharda, who's good as well. And of course, they lost to Sunderland, which was bad luck for them. This was their most recent game, so let's see how they lined up, old Brentford. Of course, Kelleher in goal. Lewis Potter. Collins, Van der Berg at the back. Jordan Henderson in midfield. Getting old, and they still got Mikel Damsgaard who's getting better. I mean, to be honest, that front 4 is good, bro. Ouattara, Thiago, Damsgaard, and Kevin Sharda, who looked like he was ready to pop off under Thomas Frank, who of course now is the Tottenham manager. They're no mugs. They have been decimated. And it's going to be tough. I'm going to play with a lineup builder now, but I'm going to use FOTMob, which is a platform many of you will know from handheld devices, apps. But I'm on the website because it's quite a fun way of building a lineup. And we're going to do that right now. Well positioned, Jan. So this is an in-possession starting lineup. We're going to mess around here. Chalobah, right centre-back. Tosin, pretty much the only option to play that central passing centre-back. Chalobah, the right centre-back there. Could be Fofana. And then Cucurella there. So this is the classic attacking with 5, defending with 5, in possession. Yeah. I'm using Gittins, holding the width on the left. I'm using Gusto, who's been flying up and down the right flank. And Reece James has played 2 games for England. I could see Gusto starting this game and being the width holder. The box midfield, the fabled box midfield, which I do think, despite, getting the red card or whatever, I still think Caicedo starts this game, especially because Dario Isugo is unavailable after thigh quad surgery. So I put him, I bring Santos in, and then the 2 inside forwards, or the 2 number 10s attacking 8s, I put Estevao and I put Fernandez. Of course, there'll be moments where Estevao becomes a touchline winger and maybe Gusto inverts into the box there so they could swap. Now, of course, there's loads of different ways of doing this. I do not see an inverting fullback like Maresca used to do, unless he just starts Reece James as a CDM, which he absolutely could do, yeah? So let's swap these, man, yeah? And let's bring in Reece James, if we can find him. He could literally start Reece James like that in the box midfield with Chalobah. You could also have Wesley Fofana, my boy. Not that, of course, at all. Chalobah deserves to be dropped. He absolutely doesn't. But just in terms of that, if Cucurella needs to come off, and he's been playing for Spain, you could bring in Chalobah as a left centre back as well. You could do that. Also, Gittins, who's being left here, you could do. I think he won't start. He'll come off the bench. But Garnacho, and actually, many of you will probably be saying, you know what, Garnacho or Gittins, neither should be starting at the moment because it doesn't look like they're quite ready. You play Neto out of position on the left wing, which he's good at. And despite some people thinking we should rest him for the Bayern Munich game, you go as full strength as possible and you play João Pedro there. And then, of course, that is pretty darn strong. Now, guys, it's also worth mentioning if he does go for this sort of attacking formation in possession, which he often does, and doesn't invert a midfielder, there is indeed another way of doing it. There is Neto. Let's move him over to his native right wing where he will hold the width. Yeah. And now Reece James will go here. And Reece James will be the right centre-back of the three, which would mean I'm going to move Caicedo there. I'm going to put Santos back in to be a part of that box midfield. And I'm actually going to use Cucurella as the width holder on the left. So this time the left fullback's holding the width and you've got a winger holding the width on the right. Of course, Gusto isn't going to play here. I'm going to swap him for... Obviously, you'd want a Cole or a Chalobah or someone else. It could be Uriel Hato, actually. Is he ready to start? That's a really good, because he can play left centre-back or he can play left-back. So the perfect hybrid position there is left centre-back in a free. So you could see that. You could see that. That seems really defensively resolute as well. Cucurella could come back to help to join Hato, Tosin and Reece James. Oh, in fact, I like that. I really, really like that. You can see substitute appearances from, if we're doing well and winning, hopefully, Mark Yu to rest Joao Pedro for the Champions League game. You could see Buonanotte. Is he even going to be there? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's there. What could you do? You could rest Reece James. You could bring on... I suppose you could, I'm trying to think different things to do here. You could rest Reece James, move these men over. Hato would, I don't know, we'd have to do something. Okay, this is getting crazy now. And then you bring on a sort of more of a left winger here. You bring on like a Garnacho. Just bring on Garnacho or Gittins. Something that's much more attacking as well because you're holding width with two wingers. So they actually have to sort of play as wing-backs then. And of course, you can imagine the likes of Esteval wouldn't be playing 90 minutes. And, Santos can do this and Reece James can do this. And then, of course, we know Wesley Fofana can do this. So many options. And of course, what I'm presenting to you here are attacking in possession. Now, this is if you're chasing a game. Well, not so much, actually. You could still do dun, 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 dun. 4-4-2. Who would be the pressers here? I guess it would have to be Buonanotte and Gu. 4-4-2 out of possession, front two press. Bang! That's fun. I quite like using FotMob to design tactics stuff there. Let me know what you think though if you like that kind of stuff. I enjoy doing it, so I hope you enjoy me doing it. But let me know though. Comment down below. Thank you as always for supporting, for liking and subscribing, commenting, sharing, hype point dropping, and of course, should you want more, you can go and check out second channel content, which instead of football therapy, it's just Football Yannick. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I say we win this game 3-1 to the Chelsea. I will, of course, be here after the game to react, and maybe even before should some big news break. So, if you are subscribed, which you should be, make sure the bell notifications icon is switched on. Alright, peace.